Welcome back. In our last video, I covered the first 7 of 13 common mistakes that executors make during the probate process. In this video, I'll cover the final 6 and stick around to the end as I want to take you on a tour of estate exec software that you can use with estate professionals and beneficiaries of the estate to make sure you stay as far away as possible from committing any one of these 13 mistakes. So let's get after it right now. Hey, this is Andy Moss with Treetop Estate Solutions, and we've seen plenty of cases where executors make silly, avoidable errors when it comes to probate proceedings. It's important to know what those errors are so that you can steer clear of them and have a successful outcome. Now, as a disclaimer, before I get started going through these, you should know that I am not an attorney, and you should always seek the advice of a licensed and qualified probate or estate law attorney when going through the probate process. If you need help finding one, please leave a comment below or feel free to reach out to us directly. Happy to help. Okay, so let's dive into the back half of these mistakes and what you need to know to avoid them. All right, so number 8 on our list is failure to identify and locate all assets. Executors should conduct a thorough search for all assets belonging to the estate to prevent any overlooked assets from being lost or misappropriated. One of the primary responsibilities of an executor is to identify and locate all assets belonging to the estate. This process, often known as marshaling the assets, involves a meticulous search to ensure that no assets are overlooked. When an executor fails to find all of the decedent's assets, it can result in an incomplete inventory of the estate. This oversight can lead to inaccurate valuation and distribution of assets, potentially leaving some beneficiaries with less than their rightful share. Furthermore, unidentified assets might end up being unclaimed, lost, or even misappropriated. Executors must be diligent in searching for all types of assets. These can range from physical assets such as real estate, vehicles, or personal belongings, to financial assets such as bank accounts, bonds, retirement accounts, and life insurance policies. Digital assets, including online bank accounts, digital wallets, social media accounts, and digital media libraries, shouldn't be overlooked. And let's not forget about crypto or possible NFTs. In addition to identifying assets, executors must also locate them. Assets may be spread out all over various locations, including safety deposit boxes, storage facilities, or maybe even the possession of other individuals. Executors should also check if the decedent owned any assets in any other states or countries, as these will need to be included in the estate inventory. Remember scavenger hunts? It's a lot like that, but a lot more work and usually a lot less fun. Frequently see executors and their legal counsel get almost all the way to the end of probate, and then voila, another asset materializes. Failure to identify and locate all assets could lead to legal complications. If beneficiaries discover that certain assets were overlooked or misappropriated during the probate process, they might take legal action against the executor. The thorough identification and location of all assets is crucial in the probate process. It ensures fair and accurate distribution of the estate, prevents loss or misappropriation of the assets, and minimizes the risk of legal disputes. Executors should approach this task meticulously, keep great records, all while seeking professional assistance if necessary to ensure that all assets are accounted for and properly managed. Number 9 is neglecting to settle outstanding debts or obligations. So Uncle Bill died with credit card debts and maybe other outstanding loans. The creditors want and need to be taken care of. Executors must identify and settle any outstanding debts, loans, or financial obligations of the deceased before distributing any kind of assets. This process, often referred to as settling the estate, is essential before any assets can be distributed to beneficiaries. I've been saying this over and over, but neglecting this responsibility can lead to serious complications, including legal disputes and potential personal liability for the executor. Debts and financial obligations can come in various forms, such as mortgages, car loans, credit card debts, medical bills, and taxes. Executors are required to use the assets of the estate to settle these obligations first. It's essential to note that beneficiaries cannot receive their inheritance until all debts have been cleared. If an executor neglects this duty and distributes assets to beneficiaries before paying off debts, they may be held personally liable for the unpaid amounts. One common mistake executors make is overlooking or underestimating the deceased's financial obligations. This can result in insufficient funds to cover all the debts, leading to potential legal action from creditors. To avoid this, executors must conduct a thorough investigation into the deceased's financial affairs, which may involve reviewing bank accounts, tax returns, and any other financial statements or documents that may be left. Another challenge is determining the legitimacy of claims against the estate. There's an entire industry of scammers trying to make invalid claims. Not all claims may be valid, and it's the executor's responsibility to scrutinize each claim, reject those that are not legitimate. Do yourself a favor and seek legal counsel on these matters if you don't already have one. Creditors may also file claims against the estate. preventing the distribution of assets until these claims are resolved. This can prolong the probate process and cause frustration amongst the beneficiaries. Settling outstanding debts and obligations is a crucial part of the executor's role. Neglecting this could have serious consequences. Therefore, executors must ensure that they accurately identify and promptly settle the deceased debts to ensure a smooth and efficient probate process. By doing so, they can protect the interests of the beneficiaries and uphold their fiduciary duties. Working with an experienced probate or estate law attorney will help you to keep the process moving and keep you away from any kind of potential liabilities. Number 10 is our lack of knowledge or expertise in estate administration. Executors who lack a clear understanding of probate laws and procedures may make mistakes or overlook simple steps, leading to complications and legal issues. Estate administration is a complex process that requires a comprehensive understanding of probate laws and procedures. Executors are entrusted with the responsibility of managing the decedent's estate, which includes identifying, valuing assets, settling debts, paying taxes, and then distributing assets to the beneficiaries. However, executors who lack knowledge or expertise in estate administration may make mistakes or overlook important steps, leading to complications or potential legal issues. In some cases, an attorney will be appointed as the executor of an estate, but most of the time, an executor is going to be a family member or friend of the family. Most of us will never be an executor, and some could bear the responsibility more than once. One of the biggest challenges executors face is the misunderstanding of their role and responsibilities throughout the process. The duties of an executor extend beyond merely distributing assets. However, as we've seen from numbers 1 through 9, they also handle paperwork, meet deadlines, communicate with beneficiaries, and navigate the often complex probate court system. Each state has its own probate laws and procedures, and failing to adhere to these can result in legal complications. For instance, there are specific rules regarding the notification of beneficiaries and creditors, timelines for filing documents, and procedures for handling claims against the estate. Inexperienced executors may overlook these requirements, potentially leading to legal penalties and personal liability. Executors without a solid understanding of financial management or tax law may struggle with the financial aspects of estate administration. This can include accurately valuing assets, handling estate taxes, and managing investments. Mismanagement of any of these financial elements can deplete the estate's assets and leave insufficient funds for distribution to the beneficiaries. In addition to having a great attorney, you'll also want to contact a CPA and possibly a financial advisor to help guide you through the process. And that leads us right into number 11, which is failure to seek professional advice when needed. Executors should consult with professionals such as estate planning attorneys or accountants when facing complex or unfamiliar situations throughout the probate process. During the process, executors are often confronted with complex and unfamiliar situations that require a deep understanding of legal, financial, and tax matters. While some executors may possess enough knowledge or experience to handle these challenges, most don't. In such cases, failure to seek professional advice can lead to mistakes, oversights, and again, legal issues. An estate planning attorney can assist with legal paperwork, court proceedings, and any kind of disputes that may arise amongst beneficiaries. They can also provide clarity on the executor's responsibilities and potential liabilities. Similarly, an accountant can help with financial tasks such as valuing assets, settling debts, and preparing and filing estate tax returns. Despite the clear benefits of seeking professional advice, some executors choose to navigate the probate process by themselves. This decision can stem from a desire to save some money, their overconfidence in their abilities, or a misunderstanding of the complexity of their duties. However, this approach can lead to problems down the line. Misinterpretation of the will, incorrect valuation of assets, unpaid debts, tax errors, and mishandling disputes are all potential repercussions of failing to seek professional guidance when needed. Even if you are savvy with finances or the law, getting a third party involved can help you gain a different perspective and help to reduce your personal liability to the estate. Getting professional help can provide peace of mind. This will also help to ensure a smoother probate process and ultimately protect the interests of the decedent and the beneficiaries. Number 12 is inadequate asset valuation. Executors must accurately assess the value of the estate assets to ensure proper distribution and to fulfill tax reporting requirements. Accurate asset valuation is a critical aspect of estate administration. Executors are responsible for determining the value of estate assets, which can include real estate, personal property, financial accounts, and business interests. This valuation is essential not only for proper distribution among beneficiaries, but also to fulfill tax reporting requirements. A common mistake executors make is underestimating or even sometimes overestimating the value of assets. Underestimation can obviously result in beneficiaries receiving less than their rightful share, leading to potential legal disputes. Overestimation, on the other hand, can inflate the value of the estate's assets, causing potential higher tax liabilities or causing the sale of certain assets to take much longer, thus delaying the probate process. To accurately assess the value of assets, executors may need to enlist the help of professional appraisers, especially for complex assets like real estate or business interests. Appraisers bring expertise and objectivity to the valuation process. This ensures that assets are valued fairly and accurately. What about tax implications? Well, estate tax returns require an accurate valuation of the estate's assets as of the date of the decedent's death or an alternate valuation date. Inaccurate valuations can lead to incorrect tax filings, resulting in potential penalties and interest charges from the IRS. Additionally, improper asset valuation can cause mistrust against the beneficiaries. If beneficiaries believe that assets have been undervalued or overvalued, it can lead to disputes, prolonging of the probate process and causing additional emotional distress for all involved. Executors must take care to accurately assess the value of estate assets, seeking professional help if and when necessary. By doing so, they can ensure fair distribution, meet tax reporting requirements, and uphold their fiduciary duty to act in the best interests of the estate and its best beneficiaries. All right, number 13 is neglecting to close the estate properly. So you found and liquidated all of the assets, paid all the debts, filed and paid taxes. Don't drop the ball here. Executors should complete all necessary court paperwork, obtain proper releases and consents, and formally close the estate according to legal requirements. The process for estate administration extends beyond the identification, valuation, and distribution of assets. It also involves properly closing the estate, a step that requires thoroughness and attention to detail from the executor. Closing an estate involves several crucial steps. First of all is the obvious paperwork. This includes filing final tax returns for the decedent and the estate, providing accounting records detailing how assets have been managed and distributed to the heirs, and submitting any kind of court documents. Second, executors must obtain proper releases and consent from the beneficiaries before closing the estate. These documents confirm that beneficiaries agree with the executor's management of the estate, have received their inheritance, and waive any future claims against the executor or the estate. Failure to obtain these releases can leave the executor vulnerable to potential lawsuits from dissatisfied beneficiaries. Finally, the estate must be formally closed according to legal requirements. The exact process can vary depending upon jurisdiction, but generally it includes notifying creditors, settling any remaining debts, and obtaining court approval for the final distribution of assets. Neglecting these steps can result in the estate remaining open indefinitely, potentially leading to an ongoing liability for the executor or potential claims against the estate. Executors should prioritize completing all necessary paperwork, obtaining proper releases and consents, and then closing the estate according to legal requirements. By doing so, they can fulfill their fiduciary duties, protect themselves from potential liability, and ensure peace of mind for all parties involved. With that said, let's take a quick peek into a software option available and one that we use with a lot of our clients to help provide accurate record keeping, transparency, and effective communication. So here we are in the Estate Exec software. So this is the software that we use with all of our clients. What it does is it really helps to ease the burden on the personal representative or executor that's handling the probate process. Nice thing about this is you'll be able to share this with your attorney, accountants, anybody else that you feel like really needs to have their hands on the process. Makes everything transparent and communication nice and clear. So this is a dummy account that I created for myself as I was deceased back in November. So you'll see here what it comes up with first is your tasks list. So these are all of the things that have to happen as you're going through the process. Obviously, you see some of these are directly related to the personal representative. Some of them are legal. Some of them are asset-based. So you'll have to determine who's going to take care of each one of those, or you can have someone who is assisting you along with that to help you determine that. We have docs over here on this tab. This will basically bring up anything that you may have questions up that you're going through the process. You can pull this up, answer questions. We'll pull up documents that you can use as you're going through the process. You have the overview. So the overview is obviously the 30,000 foot level that you can see what has happened through the entire process. You have your task tab, which we started in. You have your executor tab. So this is where you as the executor or personal representative will be able to keep track of your time spent, which you should be getting paid for, as well as anything that you might be spending as you're going through the process. This is the decedents tab here. So this is the date of death. You can have date of birth. You can put in death certificates, all relevant information that goes along with the deceased. Your assets. So assets are sometimes going to be real estate. It could be a treasure keepsake like a lamp or something like that. Anything that you want to have distributed to the heirs. You have debts. So unfortunately, when you die, your debts don't go to the grave with you. Those debts will have to get paid out of the estate prior to any of the heirs getting paid. You have your cash flow. So what's coming in and going out of the estate. You have the heirs. So everybody is going to be listed either on the will or outside of the will for any reason. And then you have your distribution. So you can keep track of exactly what has been given out and what still needs to be given out. Up here in this estate tab, you'll see that you can attach files. So if you have the death certificate, you can attach that. If you have a will, you can attach that. You also have the ability here to share. So this share tab is where you can share it with your attorney or your CPA or anybody else that might want to be involved. Again, keeping 100% transparency, no guessing as you're going through the process. As Uncle Ben said to Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. And being executor of an estate is a significant responsibility that demands a great deal of attention, diligence, and care. As we've discussed in this video, the 13 common mistakes that an executor may make during the probate process. These include delaying the initiation of the probate process, failing to maintain proper records, neglecting to file necessary tax returns, mismanaging of assets, insufficient communication with beneficiaries, distributing assets too early, failing to liquidate the assets in a timely manner. Finally, it's important to note that an executor can resign if they feel unable to fulfill their duties. This must be done before they start dealing with the estate to avoid any kind of legal complications. Thank you for watching, and remember, careful planning and execution can make the probate process significantly less daunting and more efficient. For more information, please refer to the resources linked below in the description. And if you found this information helpful, please leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more information about the probate or inherited property process. Until then, we'll see you in the next video.